How's it going, everyone? I'm the Carolina Collector. I know it's not often that I appear on camera, but I thought this subject was an important one to discuss with all of you because an issue came up on eBay, and I've already made a video talking about this, which compelled me to want to show my face. Because, you know, when it comes to the stuff I talk about here on the channel here, like, for example, I just opened up some more 2024 Topps Chrome Mitchell & Ness cards. And, well, as we all know, Topps Chrome can be hit and miss with its quality control. For example, I opened a brand new LA De La Cruz, and I don't know if the camera will show that, but right there on top of the reds, there's like a drip of some sort, which is like really disappointing. And a lot of these cards, almost all of them, are completely cut in odd ways that I can't even explain. It's just the quality of these has really fallen apart. But I don't want to get into that subject. Other content creators talk about that kind of stuff, with the price increases that are going on with Topps and, you know, all that other stuff. I made a video not that long ago talking about shill bidding. And I know there are many other content creators that are in the hobby who are like myself, who also sell. They just don't collect cards for their personal collections, but they also sell cards on eBay. And mind you, for transparency, I really haven't been doing this for that long. But I've been having a ball doing it. It keeps me busy and puts a little money in my pocket. And the reactions that I get from my customers, some of you are actually customers of mine here on YouTube, and I read the comments after you guys type comments in the comments section, or, you know, you'll message me on eBay, and the comments have been really positive and encourages me to always keep up that high standard of professionalism. But recently I have seen, as my sales and reputation grow on eBay, especially being here on YouTube. YouTube has facilitated a lot of these sales through you know, you guys and gals watching these videos and whatnot, especially now that I've acquired, you know, the link that takes you directly to my eBay store. Anyone can find my items for sale. But as a lot of other content creators have talked about here on YouTube, it's happening to me now as well. And it's going beyond shill bidding. And the modus operandi and the logic of these people really challenges my thought processes and, you know, the logic of which I operate by. I think I'm a man of common sense. You know, if I'm backed into a corner, for example, I'm not just going to stand there. I'm going to defend myself. But, you know, we live in such a upside down, backwards, inverted world that everything that's anything could be taken advantage of, used, weaponized. It's awful, you know? I've mentioned in a couple of videos, for the best example, you know, I got arrested not that long ago because of an incident that took place right here on the property where, you know, I was sitting with my neighbors listening to music, and, you know, we were all having a good time, and a group of men came in with their radio and basically drowned me out. And I said, hey man, that's not cool. And everybody's looking at them like, what the hell's going on here? Like, you know, that's not fair. You know, and I questioned them, and I'm like, I was here first. And these, of course, you know how most young people are today. I guess you can call me a boomer. I'm almost 50 years old at this point. You know, and, you know, I went there to kind of like lose myself for a while because I'm still fighting the good fight for my World Trade Center compensation and benefits, which I think I've mildly mentioned. I try not to harp on that subject anymore. I've kind of got away from that because a lot of good things have come out of it. I had 3 cases going on simultaneously. The first 2 are over and settled and done. So I think I've been doing quite well. And that's what prompted me to start my own little shindig on eBay, so that I'm not sitting around staring at the clouds all day. The third one is still kind of up in the air. I have probably another hearing in 2025. Because I got the letter from my attorneys not that long ago that they filed an appeal on my behalf. So I'm like, you know what? I need a break from all of this crap, and I went down there and. Like I said, these guys came in with their radio and were drowning me out. And I said something to them like, oh, that's not cool. I was here first, and so were we. And a lot of things were being said. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to diffuse this situation because I can see what's happening. I grew up in New York City. And I ended up buying these people food. I spent I think $65 on food for everybody. Oh, and they gladly ate my food. But then it got worse, and it got to a point where I was approached, or I approached them, however it went, and the individual got a little too close to my liking, and I pushed them away, and then all 3 of them jumped me, and I was the one that got arrested. And thanks to my reputation, I have letters of commendation from my union and being at the trade center, etc. Plus, I typed out my own deposition that I had notarized under my LLC. The DA dropped the charges immediately. Once they saw all of that and they saw the receipt from the pizzeria that I bought food from in the form of a banking statement, that they saw essentially it was perfect self-defense. Whether words or a weapon were used, I defended myself, and the charges were summarily dismissed. So I'm used to people trying to get over on me. And 9 times out of 10, I'm successful in defending myself. I had somebody steal my identity and use my name in the place I used to live, and I had to go defend myself with that too, and had the charges dropped. I mean, I've been dealing with insanity incarnate for many years, and I get tired of this kind of stuff where the world outside my doors and outside my social circles, it's pathetic. The same could be said for eBay, where this happens here on YouTube in a form of cancel culture. Actually, it happens on social media quite a bit in a form of cancel culture, where if you don't say a certain thing, or you don't believe in a certain thing, or you don't believe in a certain candidate, or support a certain candidate, whatever have you, people will come after you. And I've been dealing with things like this for many, many years. And it gets tiresome. And that's why, when I won these 2 cases, I'm like, these 2 9/11 cases, whatever I got, I ran away with, started my own business, and it's been going good for me so far, and whatever cards I got, even the other day, I gave away a big box of base cards to, one of the guys here in our neighborhood that has a son, and they're happy, like a little kid would, getting all them sports cards off me, which is good. You give back. But any system that can be taken for granted or abused will get abused. I've noticed an uptick in eBay buyers on my account bidding on sports cards that I'm selling, and they don't pay. A day will turn to 2 days, I have repeat customers within the eBay app, or I believe also on the website. If you have repeat customers, which I have quite a few as a matter of fact, up until I've made this video right here, I've sold 1,000 items on eBay. That's a lot as far as sports cards are concerned in a very short amount of time, have you. So everything has been going smooth as silk. And again, I'm grateful for all of you that have been coming back and trusting me with the products I offer. However, like with anything, eBay is ripe for abuse and weaponization. And There have been a couple people that have bid on my cards and have not paid for their orders. Thank God I've got 3 big boxes like this. No joke, 3 big boxes that are like this that I have as far as the 2023 Mitchell & Ness cards are concerned. And now I'm starting to build up a well, I don't want to say a secondary box, but an outside box where now, because of the amount of money that's been coming my way, I'm able to get some cards slabbed up and graded. Or if I see something on eBay that I'm able to get for a decent price, I'll take them, keep them for my PC, or send them off to SGC, which is my go-to grading company, and then, you know, sell them to you guys and gals out there. And it's been doing good for me so far. The slabs have been a little hit and miss. I think people tend to appreciate loose cards rather than graded cards. Certain cards with certain players are very hit and miss. Like right now, I got a couple Paul Skeens cards up on my eBay stores page, and I just sold a Gunnar Henderson 9.5 from 2023 lids, and the Ken one of the 2 Ken Griffey Juniors is up there. So we'll see how it goes. It's a toss-up when it comes to slabs. But the single cards, you guys and gals have been scooping them up, and I thank you for that. And I know there have been some issues. Like I had a card returned to me. I think it was 2 cards or 3 cards. I forgot what it was. I think it was 3 cards in 1 envelope. And this was a failing on my part because I was still using the old cardboard sleeves. If some of you are my customers, you'll know that I'll pack all my cards in envelopes, but I use these fold-up cardboard sleeves that I staple shut because I don't like using tape. Tape is like a big taboo in the card space, so I try not to use tape unless I'm completely cocooning the cards, and then I'll tape the cocoon, but I won't allow tape to touch the sleeves. I really don't do that because I know that's like a big no-no. And then some customers have like special requests. Can you put a brand new penny sleeve and brand new this, or can you use a card saver one, whatever have you. I try to be very accommodating that way. But there are people, unfortunately, that will see a very successful eBay account like mine, and it'll become a target of competition where you're doing something a little bit smarter or faster or better, or a combination of the 3 than they are. And I've seen this happen quite a few times now, where people will bid on the cards, and thank God I probably have like 20 or 30 of each card, maybe more at this point, where I could just seamlessly relist cards and not really miss a beat. But they'll bid on the cards, they won't pay for them, and the people that want the cards can't get them at that moment until I do a relist. But this situation that came up is really scummy, and I warn my fellow eBay content, or my eBay sellers and my fellow YouTube content creators, excuse me, to just keep a closer eye on things like this, because I've noticed patterns now with these type of buyers. A lot of these eBay buyers that are bidding on sports cards, if you look very carefully and you go through their feedbacks, you're going to see that a lot of these eBay buyers or bidders have these feedbacks from certain eBay stores where they're LLCs, and essentially I'm going to have to assume here, and this is just theory, one eBay store will have like 5 or 6 affiliate accounts, and you'll see the same names pop up, boom, 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 in the positive feedbacks. There'll be no negatives, but there'll be the same exact copy and paste feedbacks from these particular eBayers. And I've seen this several times popping up on my account. So one person will bid, win the auction, they won't pay. I'll wait for the allotted 5 to 6 days. Sometimes I'll wait an extra day, as eBay gives you 5 days as a seller, you know, for handling and all that stuff. I think in my case, I try to get my cards out in 3 to 4 days, but 5 days is kind of like pushing it. So I'll even wait for a 6th day in some cases. And with that being said, whoops, I got the wrappers from the packs trying to fly away. expect the unexpected, you know. But anyway, then they won't pay, and then I'll have to cancel the order and relist the cards so that people that were bidding on them, who legitimately want these cards, can now get them. And then I have to block the individuals, but then when I go through their feedbacks, there's no negatives because of fear of retaliation from these people, that they'll spitefully leave a feedback if you don't bow down to their wishes. And this is what happened to me just recently. There were 4 cards that I sold. I believe and I have to call the individual's account out. It was like Babe Ruth Collectibles or something like that. And this person has multiple feedbacks in the positive column, where other eBayers, my fellow sellers, and people that genuinely care about what they do and take pride in what they do, beware, scammer, doesn't pay, leaves threatening messages, and all of this other stuff. And you can't leave a negative on a person's page, because then they'll retaliate against you and do the same with you for no reason at all. Again, because the modus operandi is either to get you out of the way because they see you as competition, you're doing something better and smarter and you're making more money than they are, or they're doing it just because they want to have a good time and because they're being jerks. But to me, most of these eBay buyers that I've seen are all in cahoots with these other eBay stores, you know, that are probably the type that like goes to like storage places and buys those big storage things, and they find sports cards in them. You know, then you got your box breakers and people like that. I'm going to assume are all in cahoots with each other, because you look at the feedbacks, and you look at the names of these people that they supposedly bought cards from, and they are copy and paste feedbacks. This one is Babe Ruth Collectibles, I believe. You see the same thing, Pro Stein or whatever it's called. Boom, 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 all the way down the line with copy and paste A+ feedbacks. And then you'll see truly negative feedbacks in the positive column, because eBay sellers care, like me. I care about my reputation as a seller. This person, of course, torpedoed my account and left me 4 straight negative feedbacks, calling me suspicious after selling 1,000 items in all of these weeks. That now all of a sudden, after selling 1,000 items with 100% feedback, that suddenly it's suspicious behavior. You know what I mean? People are scum. People are real scumbags, man. And I called eBay. Well, technically I didn't call them. You have to go through like this weird process and get to like the right answers in your eBay account to reach like this certain thing. And then it'll have your number set up, and then you say, have them call me or whatever it is. And then they call you back in whatever time they have. So I did this last night. The representative called me, and you know, I also posted 4 separate appeals against these feedbacks. And the woman's like, yeah, you know, whatever, went through all the motions. It's all a song and dance, clearly scripted, clearly read off an index card or rehearsed, whatever it is. And I look at my Gmail account today, and of course, what do you think happened? The negative feedbacks are still up there, claiming that I'm suspicious. Sure. That's because this person did not pay. They bid on 4 cards. I gave them sufficient amount of time to pay for said cards. And then after so many days, I can't let those cards just sit there. That's for Atrium Hospital. Yeah, the hospital that's right by me here, they have a heliport. So every so often, you know, you'll hear helicopters pass by. Plus, sometimes you get air traffic from Charlotte Davis here. So, but anyway, back to the subject at hand here. So, I I gave this person enough time to pay, and they never did. And I was patient, and I canceled the order and relisted the cards so that people who legitimately want those cards can get them. And then this person retaliates. After seeing on their account that they have these fake positive feedbacks where people are literally saying, watch out, buyer beware, doesn't pay, demands refunds, boom, 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 all the way down the list. So from my point of view, this person is trying to get over. And basically, people like this will hold an eBay seller hostage. And in this case, I felt that I was being held hostage. It's not right and it's not fair. And I know other eBayers who are like myself who sell items on eBay, unfortunately, have to deal with this. You do have highly unreasonable people who are out there. Like recently, I have a Paul Skeens 2024 mega box out of 75 Mojo Fractor that I thought was a PSA 10. Turns out it was a PSA 9, but this is again an oversight on my part. So I respectfully wrote to the seller who was selling the car, and I said, I made this mistake. The person threatened to leave a negative feedback on my account if I didn't go through the bidding process. Holding you hostage. So now if you look at my eBay store, if you click on the link in the description box below, if it hasn't sold or been bid on already, that Paul Skeens PSA 9 is listed in my listings. And abuses like this continue to happen across eBay. And I'm very surprised at the ignorance of the eBay representative, and I said, I am a legitimate LLC, my tax ID number, blah, 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 here you go. And this is damaging my reputation as a seller. Look at the person's feedbacks and look at mine. I had no negative feedbacks until this person just decided to retaliate out of spite because reasons. Competition. They see me as a threat, or they see other eBayers as a threat because we're doing better than they are. We're selling more product and moving more product than they are. They're trying to control the population of certain cards, whatever the reasons are. All these reasons, of course, are negative. And it's predatory, and it's really unfair to us as sellers that have a legitimate thing going on, that these people can sit there and abuse the power of eBay. The mailman just showed up here, folks. Give me 1 second there. So, thank you, by the way. Business as usual. Sorry if that looks like chicken scratch. Thank you very much. You take care. So, like I said, business as usual. So, what do we got here? So, I guess this is going to be like a mini review at the same time, quickly. So, I bought a Bayern Munich retro jersey, and I wanted to add retro numbers to it. So, I ended up finding an eBay store, again, another fellow eBayer who makes great replicas of the 70s and 80s style numbers. So, this is probably going to go on my Bayern Munich retro jersey, which I think I uploaded a short on the channel. So anyway, it is clear that eBay takes the side of the aggressor. In this case, this person who I firmly still feel, based on the feedbacks that I read, and you can see that they are dealing with consigners. The only ones that are leaving feedbacks on people's pages like this are people that are consigning on eBay, which means they're all in cahoots with each other. And we as legitimate eBay sellers who are trying to do the right thing, I'm still new to all of this, but there are predatory behaviors out there that eBay just will not defend. And it sucks for somebody like myself. Which is why I want this video to be out there. You know, I got nothing to hide when it comes to, you know, certain things. You know, and I try my best to make all of you happy as my customers. You know, a lot of you subscribe to my videos. A lot of you segued over to eBay and are buying my cards. At the time of this video, I think, again, I probably said this already. You know, I sold 1,000 items to date with no problems. And even if there were problems, they resolved themselves because of wonderful, beautiful people like you who are grown up, mature, patient, and, you know, just want to have your cards because, you know, you love the hobby, or maybe you're buying it as a gift for someone. And hey, I've even seen people flip my cards. You know, I saw this with a Gunnar Henderson out of 25 orange from Mitchell & Ness. It was one of those cards that got flip-flopped, and now one of my customers is selling that card for a little more, I think, less than twice what I was selling it for. But hey, man, that's capitalism for you. What am I going to do? You know, it is what it is. So I'm not complaining. I know the person's a subscriber. I'm not complaining. Good for you. But maybe you saw something that I didn't. But that's the way the world works, you know? And that's how the business works. But this other predatory behavior where you have these eBayers that are working with brick and mortar stores, with these scumbag sports card dealers who don't care about the hobby. They care about making profit, first and foremost, above anything. They don't care about you. They don't care about the hobby. They put no love into the hobby. The only thing they care about is sucking your wallet dry. To people like that, all you are is this. And that's all you are. You're a wallet to them. You got these people working with those that do consignments, that have brick and mortar stores, that are these real bourgeois dickhead, you know, and I made fun of them, the fat, overweight baseball cap backwards with broken teeth at the gum line, that they're even whatever's left, the little stubs that are in there or stumps are so yellow that it looks like, you know, like bees would fly in and out of their mouth, thinking that was, you know, a honeycomb. You know what I mean? Smelling like 20 packs of cigarettes, neck hair coming out from the back of their t-shirt. You know the types. The stereotypical comic book shop sports card dealers. That when they look down, they can't see their own genitalia when they're trying to use the restroom. There's clearly a lot of abuse that goes on throughout eBay and this hobby or any other hobby. And I'm very disappointed. I've been very, very happy with eBay. Every time I've called up eBay about certain things that have happened on my account, they've been very quick to act. For example, when them two cards got flip-flopped, I mean, they were all over that. And the issue was corrected almost immediately. So, and plus both sides gave me a little advice. I think one side gave me a little bit more advice than the other. But there was a lot of communication between, you know, the triangle, you know, of myself and the two customers that were involved, and everything worked itself out. No feedbacks, no negative feedbacks were left. There was no spiteful behavior, but stuff like this is designed intentionally to get you out of the way because you're doing better, you're selling more product, you're moving more items, you're making more money, your reputation is better, you're more successful. Then you got people that are just trying to control the population of cards, which segues into controlling the hobbies. I can't stand people that want to control hobbies. No one controls a hobby. People get into hobbies for escapism and for their own personal enjoyment. You know, I got Star Trek stuff and Transformers and sports cards everywhere where I live here. But, you know, every so often I have a bad day. Like today I was having a rotten day. You know, I'll come home, I'll grab Optimus Prime, fidget with them, and put them back on the shelf. It's not like I'm sitting there in the grass playing with toys with little kids. You know, I'm a grown-ass man. You know, sometimes I'll flick through my collection and be like, wow, look at the cards I got, you know. That's cool, that's cool. Oh, I just saw this guy play last night in a game. It's all escapism, just to kind of like take you out of reality for a little bit. With our political discourse and the violence and, you know, the sick perversions that we see on TV and what these people are trying to push. You know, it's overwhelming to a point where you have to like unplug from the matrix every so often. And that's what really got me into this, because after a while it's like, oh my God, you know, enough is enough with the politics, sexual identities and pronouns. It's like, God, stop already. Jeez. Even I got tired of it. And I used to be one of the, you know, I'm not going to pretend I'm a Trump guy. Not going to hide. I got nothing to hide. But I used to really pump my fists in the air to the point where it even now that, you know, I've kind of toned it down a lot, actually. It's still dangerous for people like me. Because there's no such thing as being yourself anymore. You have to fall in line, comply and obey. And I don't think so. But at the same time, even though like I've had to deal with so much crap, I'm going to make a stand when it comes to it. And that's what this video really is. It's really shitty when you got people that are out there that want to control the hobby, that want to manipulate and control the market, who, I mean, I could be a dick. How many Gunnar Henderson rookie cards do I have right now from that series? There are people out there, every single time I list Gunnar Henderson, those cards go away. I can have every single Gunnar Henderson that I am in possession of graded and sit on them and control that market. I don't do it. Why? It doesn't benefit me. I don't have the room, you know, and I already have some premium Gunnar Hendersons. In particular from that set, the red out of 5 parallel from Mitchell and Ness, which came back in 9.5. I think I showed it on camera. So why not pass on the other ones to my customers? You know, hold on to a perfect 10 here and there, and then, you know, give everybody a chance to get them. I know those cards are expensive, but the money has been making itself back. For all those hundreds of dollars I spent on those, 2023 lids cards, I'm making the money right back, and some. To give other people a chance to enjoy those cards. There are people that intentionally sit on cards because they want to control the prices and control the market. I can artificially take out 30 Gunnar Hendersons right now if I wanted to and sit on them and never release them to the public. Now, I don't know what the population numbers are of these Gunnar Hendersons. I'm not going to get into that. But if I wanted to, I'm sitting on a big chunk, because I think out of anybody that's here on YouTube, and this is going to be a bold claim, I'm probably the only one that's opened up dozens and dozens and dozens of these Mitchell and Ness cards. And I think I have the right to claim that, yeah, right now I can control a couple hundred cards if I chose to, but I don't, because ethically, especially for the hobby, that's not good. Let somebody else have a chance to enjoy this stuff. And again, when I list my cards, I start off as cheap as I can. When it comes to the graded slabs in particular, I'll do a little bit of homework and take a look at where its corresponding cards and other sets are, and then I price the cards accordingly, put them in auction, and then let the public run away with it. Some cards are going to be more expensive than others. That's just the nature of it. But I do come down a little bit, like the Ken Griffey Jr. rookie. I've seen, there's one for sale right now on my eBay store that's $150 to start. Those cards are selling SGC or PSA for anywhere between $175 to $200. So I figure if I come down a little bit, well, I guess the term would be lowballing myself. At least it gives the public a chance to say, hey, you know what? I don't have $165, but this guy's selling it for $150. That's a card I want, and I can actually kind of afford that. That's called, you know, respecting your fellow collectors, and not taking them for a ride. You know, I'm disgusted by the fact that, just like here with YouTube, with the false flagging and everything else that goes on, you know, you see it on Twitter, you see it on Instagram, you see it here on YouTube. I've been a victim of that, you know, when I used to do all my political stuff when I was here on YouTube before. And it still goes on with other content creators, you know, with threatening emails, harassing phone calls, doxing, and everything else. It's like, Jesus, man, what kind of world do we live in? You know? Every single time I've gone up against negativity, I can produce the receipts to show maybe it's not me, and that's not narcissism. Because that word gets tossed around so much that most people don't even know what that word means. You're guilty of nothing, essentially, is what narcissism is. Or you don't know how to look in a mirror and say, damn, am I ugly? You know what I mean? I mean, I'm nothing to look at. I'm no catch. Let's just get that out of the way. As a matter of fact, somebody today was like, you know, did anybody ever tell you you look like AVGN? You know, angry video game nerd, James Rolfe. I'm like, I took it as a compliment, you know, but I'm not out there saying, F this guy, where's his social media, cancel him, he made fun of me. I'm like, God, like, stop already. Man, people really need to grow up. But in this case, man, I've got to say that the abuses that do go on within any type of social media, it's really disgusting. And this person went out of their way to say, after selling 1,000 items to this day, at the time I'm making this video, with a flawless record, that suddenly I'm suspicious. Now, of course, I can sit here until I'm blue in the face. There's going to be one or two dicks that's going to say, he's only saying that because reasons. Well, his reasons. He's an islamophobe and reasons. There's always going to be detractors out there. That's one of the sad symptoms about being on social media like this. People are going to pull things out of thin air because, quite frankly, their lives are so small and so bankrupt that, frankly, they've got nothing else going on and nothing else to talk about. So they have to validate themselves by shitting on someone else. But a legitimate issue like this, where someone is literally holding you hostage, basically saying, like what happened with the Paul Skeens out of 9 that I've got, bid on it or else I'll leave you negative feedback. That's bullshit. I've had people bid on my cards and they would message me and say, you know, I've changed my mind. And I go through it and I don't negative feedback, person is evil, suspicious, an antichrist, devil. I don't do any of that stuff. I'm above that sort of thing. But there are people that are out there that are like that. In this day and age, and especially being at the World Trade Center like I was only there for the first 5 days after the fact. One thing that is replete with my thought process, and one thing that sticks with me, is that never underestimate the evils of human behavior. And always expect the unexpected when it comes to people. You know, how many times I've been forced to defend myself with a lot of things. I mean, even now, what happened last year, where I had to defend myself, or somebody was using my name to threaten somebody. I had 200 and something pages of printouts of fake accounts about me. And that saved me, because I know I didn't do this thing. In a court of law, under penalty of perjury, by the way. And just like what happened right over there where I was sitting, not that far, a couple 100 feet from where I'm sitting now, I was able to prove that I tried to defuse the situation and that I was severely outnumbered and I had to act in self-defense. Whether a verbal threat was made or I had a weapon, which of course I didn't have one, I had no choice but to do something. I had no other way out. And I was able to produce the receipts and vouch for my character as well. You're going to have people that are out there that just want to watch people suffer. Because they stood up for themselves. They refused to take a knee and bow down. I won't bow to ideologues, especially when it comes to leftist ideology, and I don't want to get political with this channel. There have been sprinkles of the things I believe in. I think I'm like most conservative voters out there. I don't believe in the alphabets. I don't believe in, I have to put this a certain way, certain issues when it comes to the weather cycling, if you get it on this little blue ball we live on. I don't subscribe to their nonsense, because the people that are making a mess are the ones complaining about changes in weather patterns and that sort of thing. I'm not going to let you do it, YouTube, because I know what you're going to do. You're going to put a disclaimer under this video because I use a certain term. I'm not going to let you do it. I don't subscribe to our children being indoctrinated in schools, and that's never going to change. I resist all of these ideas, and as a result, people are going to attack you. Look what happened with Pat Mahomes' wife, as a matter of fact, recently. and Harrison Bucker and people like that. So I'm used to being shit on. I've been shit on quite a bit in my life. And even when you have something innocent like a hobby, and you're trying to make a little money on the side, honest money, clean money, not drug money, you're not stealing, you're not mugging old ladies in the street, you're not stealing from ATMs, you're not carjacking, you're making honest to goodness legitimate money. And you guys and gals that have been supporting the channel, you're the ones that have been helping me to get things like this. You know? So, and it's all innocent and it's for fun. But then you got people that take this so seriously that once they see you as a threat to the hobby, that you're a little smarter, a little bit more business savvy, you have a little bit more insight, and dare I say, and people will accuse me of being a narcissist, maybe people like the way I do business, or like me personally, they like my videos, for example. Because there's a little, you gotta come down to people's level, man. You can't be some overlord looking down on people, man. You know, hey, listen, I gotta wake up in the morning, I fart, I burp, I pick my nose, I have to eat, my stomach growls, I get crust at the corner of my eyes. I'm human just like the rest of you men and women out there. Biological ones, by the way. But all of this other stuff, it's really pathetic. It's truly pathetic that with something that's meant to be fun and innocent, and of course, you know, something that can potentially sustain someone, you're going to have people out there that just want to run you over. They want to run you over. They want to knock you down. And the only way you can fight back against that is just to keep doing what you're doing without blinking an eye. So with all this being said, I'm very sorry if this has happened to anyone else. Again, I've watched multiple videos here on YouTube with my fellow eBay sellers who have experienced shill bidding and population control and non-payment. And then you get threatening messages, harassing messages, you know, nonsensical negative feedbacks to destroy, you know, your seller ratings and all that stuff. I was a top seller for all of these weeks, through 1,000 sales. And just because I didn't kiss this person's ass because they didn't pay me in time, this is business, man. I've gone through hard times. I didn't want to owe money. But at the end of the day, eventually you have to pay your debts back. And God knows the amount of debt that I've paid back in the last few months already. Thank God, with the Lord above, that He enabled me to have certain resources and I was able to get some of these debts paid. You know, because of all the financial hardships I've had throughout my life. I mean, creditors, they start threatening to sue you. They want to bring you to court. They'll start garnishing, you know, your pay if you have a job, and they'll start taking your property from you and even threaten you with jail time. It's frightening when you get things like that. And I learned my lesson, man. After going through all of this crap, being in and out of the legal system when it comes to my World Trade Center cases, let me tell you, man, every nickel is precious, especially today with Bidenomics. And again, I don't want to get into the politics of things, but look at how bad inflation has become. And it's getting worse. The price of, let's just say, like a ribeye steak down here at one point was like, what, $6 to $7 a pound? Now it's like $12 to $14 a pound. It's almost double what it was. And the people in my social circles, we talk about this all the time. It's very difficult to afford food. Imagine if you're a single parent. And this is the world we live in. The problem is the idiots that keep voting for these Democrat politicians, they, the voter, are responsible for these nitwits being in control. And as a result, the rest of us have to suffer. So you have no right to complain because you did this to us. I, and people like me, on the other hand, we vote for the other people. Nobody's trying to take away who you want to love. I don't agree with certain lifestyles, but I'm not out there with pitchforks threatening people that, if you love a certain person or a certain thing, we're going to do this and that and XYZ. It's ridiculous and absurd. It's fear-mongering and panic. But people use their sex and their race and their shape and how tall and how short they are to get over on each other. It's a giant scam. This country is becoming a red, white, and blue, East Coast to West Coast, flick of the wrist scam. And eBay is no exception. eBay is a breeding ground for con artists and scammers. And this person that left these 4 feedbacks, and eBay rejected my appeal. So now I'm going to be stuck with these 4 negative feedbacks for the next 12 months until they disappear. That's how long it takes. And it's disgusting. Just because I didn't, if I didn't bid on that Paul Skeens PSA 9, I would probably have 5 negative feedbacks. When I actually did the right thing in the allotted time, but the person said, no, you have to bid. In other words, the person just was too lazy. They just wanted the money and couldn't care, which violates eBay's policies. You have a right to back out of a bid if you so choose. But then the person said, well, I'm going to leave you a negative feedback if you don't participate. I mean, that's absurd. That's hostage taking and predatory behavior. And now, like I said, when you see eBayers that are clearly dealing with sports card shops and consignment, those are the ones you really have to watch out for and keep an eye out on. Many of you that have bought my stuff, you are innocent, red, white, and blue American. I don't care what side of the coin you're on. What matters is the hobby itself. And I'm glad I'm able to provide, a service to all of you. Because I'm a collector too. Actually, my PC has grown quite significantly over the past several weeks. And I love my collection. And if, God forbid, one day I get into financial trouble again, what do you think I'm going to do? I'm going to liquidate. But until that time, right now, I'm fortunate that I have what I have. And that I'm able to take some of what I have, donate some of that to some of the kids around here, like I've been doing. The last big box I had was huge. And I ended up giving that to one of my buddies who has a little boy. Now he's got a couple hundred Topps Chrome cards and 89 Upper Decks you guys saw me open up, and Bowman Chrome, and all sorts of refractors and parallels, even graded slabs I've given away. But with all that being said and done, everything could be manipulated, abused, twisted, warped. And I'm not going to stop doing what I'm doing. I'm going to continue the quality that many of you who are now my customers who follow me here on YouTube and also follow me over at eBay. I'm going to continue to do what I've been doing. I'm not going to be deterred by this. But to my fellow eBayers that are out there who are sellers of sports goods, memorabilia, etc., just be careful who you're dealing with. When you see all these feedbacks, specifically from people that are dealing with those who consign, or sports card shops that have eBay stores, they're the ones that are fucking up this hobby and making things miserable for the rest of us because they absolutely have to have that last nickel and dime. Competition is good, but this is yet another form, just like with DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion, and having women in men's sports and men in women's sports, it's a form of cheating. You're cheating. And that's the world we live in, folks. So just be careful. Thank you to everyone who's been supporting myself and each other and other channels like mine. Thank you for helping to support the eBay store. Again, if it wasn't for you guys and gals out there, I wouldn't be able to get more of these, the Mitchell and Ness cards from 2024, which are really The quality is awful. Maybe I'll make a separate video about that. But I complain a lot about Topps quality anyway. This year is just a very bizarre year for Topps all around, and Bowman by extension. But Topps this year is just, they're awful, man. And now I heard they're going to be canceling Platinum. One of the best card sets I've ever opened. But thanks to you, I get things like this. I'm able to get more cards. I'm able to sell more, resell more stuff. And that's how it works, man. That's what makes the world go round. That's the beauty of capitalism. You know? You scratch my back, I scratch yours. But this bad behavior on eBay will protect the predator and not the victim. In this case, yours truly, and others like me. And I know I'm not the only one that deals with these sort of things. So, if you have somebody, if you're an eBay seller, make sure they're not dealing with a consignment page or a sports card shop. Unless that sports card shop has an immaculate reputation, people will see you. If you're successful, they will see you as a threat. And all in all, most people today are just assholes, all across the board. Uncivilized, knuckle-dragging Neanderthals. So with all that being said, ladies and gentlemen, thank you again for watching this video and taking the time to sit down and listen to all of this. Again, if anyone's interested, I got plenty of cards for sale. I do have mostly slabs up for the time being, and then maybe I'll do another hard list of all 50 Mitchell & Ness cards. I do have a complete set available for sale. But all in all, guys, thank you for just sitting down here with this little chat. And just be very careful. Anything that can be taken for granted, used, abused, manipulated, or weaponized is something that has to be kept an eye on closely. God bless, take care, stay safe. I am the Carolina Collector. I'll see you around very soon, everyone. Take care.